Hello and welcome to our Italian lesson.
Ciao e benvenuti alla nostra lezione di italiano.
My name is Holly. Mi chiamo Ollie.
My name is Isaiah. Mi chiamo Isaiah.
In Italian, faith is
Fede,
hope is
speranza,
love is
amore.
now therefore these three remain faith, hope and love, and the greatest of these is love.
Ora dunque queste tre cose rimangono: fede, speranza e l'amore. Ma la più grande di esse è l'amore.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So since in the past year we have spent most of our life on Zoom, we thought that this would be a helpful way just to share a little bit about family and church and eBay ministry and what it's been like for us in the past year. Now we don't usually interact as husband and wife on Zoom, so this is a first for us as well. Now it's been a challenging year globally. It's certainly been a challenging year here in Italy, especially back in March and April of last year. Italy seemed to be the epicenter, at least in Europe, of the COVID pandemic. So people have been struggling health-wise, financially, and even spiritually. So it's definitely been a challenging year. So let's just share with you what it's been like for us as a family. We'll begin with family. Then we'll talk about church, and then we'll talk about eBay's ministry. So Ruth, perhaps you could just give us an insight what it's been like for us as a family over the last 12 months or so.
Yeah, I think these last 12 months have been unique for us. I think we've spent a lot more time together as a family than we probably ever had before, with you working from home as well. So that's been a really positive thing to take out of this pandemic.
Yeah, and in terms of, it's also been a challenging time working from home. Ministry has been as busy as ever, having the kids at home doing homeschooling. So how would you say that last year has stretched and strengthened our faith as a family?
Yeah, I think being together so much actually has just provided a lot more time to be together for those little conversations that maybe just aren't usually time for. We've prayed together a lot more as a family. We've sang together as a family, which we had never done pre-pandemic. Teaching the kids wee songs from our youth and doing church together for months and months, just us five doing our own little program together. And as a family was really special.
Ciao, Todd.
Ciao.
So, Todd, I was keen just to share with our brothers and sisters some of the work of the church here in Finocchio, and especially I wanted to highlight the work of the Centro Agape. Could you just tell us about the Centro Agape and the vision of the Centro Agape?
Sure. We started the center about 5 years ago, a little more than 5 years ago now. And the idea was, with the influx of refugees, migrants into Italy, we wanted to have a neutral place, a third place that wasn't so churchy, so that they would feel open and free to come, people from Muslim background, Hindu background, etc. And so it's just a place where we can be a community and meet needs, language learning, other things that we're getting into now that we'll talk about, but that's basically the vision, a place that we can meet practical needs as a door opening the way to share the gospel with people.
Yeah, and I suppose over the last year, you've faced some unique challenges. Would you like to share about that? How have you had opportunities to show love over the last 12 months or so?
Yes, it's been challenging, difficult for all of us. For the migrant community in Rome, especially, they're very connected to the tourist industry, all the restaurants, hotels, tourist sites, that the migrants work at. So they've been without work for a year, most of them. And so God opened up the door for us to begin mercy ministries like food distribution, clothing distribution. He's provided sources to, one of which is our local church food bank is part of what supplies us, at least partially. And so we've been, since May of last year, going into the homes of these migrant families, which ultimately is our goal anyway, and sharing physical food with them, but also praying with them and, hearing their stories and just kind of loving on them, being a community around them in this time.
It's also been a unique year for us here at eBay. eBay is the Bible College, and so we have Denny Pasquale with us, the Vice Principal of eBay. Denny, perhaps you could share with us some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that we have experienced as eBay over the last year.
Well, of course, the challenges have been related to constantly having to adapt to new regulations, and this has been on a weekly business in the spring, but also in these current months. And that's been a great challenge. A challenge of the students having to live on campus, confined on campus for 3 months. A great challenge. They responded in an amazing way, and we're very grateful for that. And also the challenge of teaching online. We had to quickly learn the tools, and that's also given us a great opportunity, because now we're able to offer our on-campus classes live via Zoom to students that can participate from home. So this is a new opportunity where we're experimenting, and it's going well, so we hope to keep as part of our delivery options.
I also thought it would be helpful for you to hear directly from one of our students, especially about the experience of last year when they were here together during lockdown. So Giancarlo, perhaps you could share with us, what was that period like for you guys as students?
Yeah, obviously at first it wasn't easy, but I thank God for that moment, because as a community, first we grew a lot together. We grew with them. So every Tuesday night we fasted. So we took that time to pray together, to worship God, and to pray not only for ourselves, for our families or relatives, but also for the entire world. And personally, I realized during that time how little I am, and how I can trust a God who is sovereign and in control of everything. So yeah, I thank God for that time.
Josiah, I thought it would be helpful to get your perspective as well. You spent the last 3 weeks doing a course on exegesis of Romans. It's quite bizarre to do a course on exegesis in the midst of a global pandemic. So why do you think that's important for you, both for the present and for the future?
Thank you for the question. As you said, it's quite real. It may sound strange to study the book of Romans in this type of context, of pandemic. And maybe you may think it's the last thing you want to do. But we came to a deeper understanding I came to a deep understanding of my depravity, and of a more perfect understanding of God's amazing work of salvation, talking about our redemption and taking us away from the bondage of sin, and our present and our future glorification. And this gave me such an assurance of God's perfect work and of God's love in Jesus Christ. And for the future, I would love to give this same feelings of utter awe of God to my brothers and my fellows in the Church of Pozzuoli.
Thank you for your prayers for Italy.
Grazie per le vostre preghiere per l'Italia.
Ciao ciao!